Epictetus was an ancient Greek Stoic philosopher who lived between AD 55 and AD 135. His life is full of legend, and his teachings profoundly influenced later philosophical thought, especially Stoicism. Although his life was not prominent, his profound philosophical thoughts and tenacious attitude towards life became a source of inspiration for later generations to think about life. Now let us understand the maxim of Epictetus. What matters is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to stop worrying about things that are beyond our will. Wealth consists not in having a lot of possessions, but in having few desires. He is a wise man who does not grieve for what he does not have but rejoices for what he does have. All religions must be tolerated, for everyone must enter heaven in his or her own way. If you want to improve, be content with being thought stupid and stupid. Take advantage of your strengths and take the rest when it happens. It is the nature of the wise to resist pleasure, but the ignorant are slaves to pleasure. People are not bothered by things, but by their perceptions of things. First understand what you mean before you say it. A ship should not rely on a small anchor, nor should a life depend on a hope. If you aspire to be a good person, first believe that you are evil. Imagine a role for yourself, a role model whose example you decide to follow, both privately and in public. Nothing great is created suddenly. If you want to be a writer, write. Is there anything more to freedom than the right to live as we wish? Nothing more. If virtue promises happiness, prosperity, and peace, then progress in virtue is progress in each of these, for whatever perfection in anything brings us, progress is always the way to it. Freedom is the right to live as we wish. Whenever you are angry, rest assured that it is not only a current evil but a habit you have developed. It is not death or pain that is scary, but the fear of pain or death. Silence is safer than talking. A person who desires to excel should work hard at those things in which he is best. Nothing greater is created suddenly than a bunch of grapes or figs. If you tell me you want a fig, I answer you must have time. Let it bloom first, then bear fruit, and then mature. Unless we place our religion and our wealth in the same thing, religion will always be sacrificed. We lie, but it is easy to prove that lying is immoral. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. The key is to only surround yourself with people who lift you up and whose presence calls out the best in you. God entrusted himself to me. People are not bothered by things, but by their perceptions of things. No one is free who is not his own master. First tell yourself who you will become, then do what you have to do. When you are offended by the faults of anyone, turn to yourself and study your own shortcomings. Then you will forget your anger. The world turns its back on anyone who knows where they're going. You are a little soul carrying a corpse. Blaming others for your misfortune is a sign of lack of education. Blaming oneself shows that one's education has begun. Neither blaming yourself nor others shows that a person's education is complete. All philosophy lies in 2 words, support and abandon. Remain silent in most situations, speaking only when necessary and then briefly. Freedom is gained not by fully enjoying desires, but by controlling them. If it's a lie, laugh at it. If someone says something bad about you, and it's true, correct yourself. The essence of philosophy is that a person should live in such a way that his happiness should depend as little as possible on external things. Don't try to make things go your way, but wish them the way they are and you will find them. We should not anchor a ship with an anchor, nor should we anchor our lives with a hope. For heaven's sake, train yourself in small things and then move on to greater things. If you seek truth, you will not seek victory by dishonorable means, If you find truth, you will become invincible. If one crosses the line of moderation, the greatest pleasure ceases to be pleasurable. Not everything that is difficult and dangerous is suitable for training, but only those things that are conducive to successfully achieving the goals we strive for. Welcome to subscribe to my channel. Luck and love are with you. The story of Epictetus. Epictetus's life can only be sketched in a rudimentary outline. The resources available to us include only a few references in ancient texts, to which we can add some hints of Epictetus's own life in the discourses. Epictetus was born in about AD 55 at Hierapolis in Phrygia, now Pamukkale in southwestern Turkey. As a boy, he somehow came to Rome as a slave to Epictetus, a wealthy and powerful freeman who was himself a slave to the Emperor Nero. When Epictetus was a slave, he studied with the Stoic teacher Musonius Rufus. At some point Epictetus was released and was exiled by Emperor Domitian in about 89 AD along with other philosophers who were in Rome at the time. He traveled to Nicopolis in Epirus, northwestern Greece, where he opened his own school, which gained a good reputation and attracted many of the Roman upper class. One of these students was Flavius Arrian, who wrote the Discourses and the Manual and later held public office under the Emperor Hadrian and became a respected historian. Epictetus was an exponent of Stoicism, which flourished in the early 2nd century AD, some 400 years after Zeno's Stoic school was founded in Athens. He lived and worked first in Rome and later as a teacher at his own school in Nicopolis, Greece. Our knowledge of his philosophy and his methods as a teacher is gained through two works, Discourses and Manuals, authored by his student Arrian. Although Epictetus' teaching was based on early Stoic writings and dealt with the three branches of Stoic thought, logic, physics, and ethics, the Discourses and Manual focus almost entirely on ethics. The role of a Stoic teacher is to encourage his students to live a philosophical life whose purpose is happiness or prosperity, and to ensure this by living a rational life, which for a Stoic means being moral and ethical living. Live according to nature. Happiness for those who have achieved this ideal includes peace, freedom from passion, good feelings, and an awareness and ability to understand what counts as life. A rational being should. The key to transforming oneself into a Stoic wise man is to learn things within one's power, which is the correct use of impressions, which in a nutshell means not judging anything as good or bad. For the only good is to act virtuously, i.e., to be motivated by virtue, and the only bad is to do the opposite, to act evil, i.e., to be motivated by evil. Those who seek to progress as Stoics understand that their rational power is a fragment of God, whose physical body, a thin fiery air, is one with the whole of creation, intelligently formed and directed without distinction matter to create the world we experience. The task of the prokopton is therefore to live according to nature, which means pursuing throughout life the process of responding wisely to one's needs and responsibilities as a sociable human being, but also fully accepting one's destiny. The destiny of the world comes directly from divine wisdom. It makes the world the best it can be. Overall, Epictetus's life story and philosophical thoughts provide us with a dose of spiritual medicine. His teachings encourage people to pursue inner depth and peace and develop a positive mindset to better cope with the ups and downs and changes of life. His influence continues to this day, providing valuable guidance to those seeking true happiness and inner fulfillment.